We begin with the latest developments from West Asia and a second part of hostage exchanges under the initial phase of a ceasefire agreement with Israel. Hamas has released 4 Israeli women hostages whose names released on Friday from Gaza. Now clutching Hamas-branded gift bags and wearing military fatigue, the 4 Israeli hostages, Karina Ariev, Daniella Gilboa, Naama Levy, and Liri Albag, were handed over by Hamas to the Red Cross, waved and even gave thumbs up as they were paraded on stage before dozens of militants and a huge crowd. Hundreds of Gaza residents who gathered to watch the scene responded with cheers before the women were escorted to the waiting Red Cross vehicles. The Israeli military said the women were then transferred back into Israel, where they were reunited with their families. All the 4 women were captured on October 7th, 2023, during Hamas's attack on the Nahal Oz military base. These women were reportedly serving as IDF surveillance soldiers. Before the release, Hamas and Red Cross signed agreement ahead of release of hostages. Dozens of masked and armed militants from the Hamas and the Islamic Jihad gathered in Gaza City for the handover of these hostages. Now, people cried tears of joy at Tel Aviv Square as Israelis watched the release of hostages. People gathered with photos of female hostages who have been released. Soon after the release of the hostages, buses carrying Palestinian prisoners freed as part of the Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal departed from 2 Israeli prisons. The buses left Ofer prison in the occupied West Bank. Israel has confirmed 200 Palestinians held in Israel have been released in return for 4 Israeli women hostages or soldiers freed earlier Saturday by Hamas in Gaza. However, Israel has said it would block the return of displaced Palestinians to their homes in northern Gaza until civilian woman hostage Arbel Yehud is released.
We are continuing to progress with the implementation of the agreement for the return of the female and male hostages, and we are prepared and await with responsibility to receive all female and male hostages that are set to return in the near future. Hamas did not comply with the agreement on its obligation to return civilian females first.
Hamas sources have, however, said that Yehud is safe and in good health. However, the ceasefire itself, brokered after months of negotiations, has not been enough to halt the violence entirely. While Gaza experienced a temporary pause in hostilities, violence continued to flare in the West Bank. Israeli security forces have been conducting airstrikes and ground operations in Jenin, a stronghold of militant groups. In the latest, an Israeli drone strike killed 2 people in the town of Kabatia. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, at least 14 people have been killed since the Israeli operation began early this week. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.